Hi, my name is Michael Owens. I'm the mayor of the city of Mableton. I just wanted to say it was a great event being able to come out here and celebrate the second Black History Month event by Roots Gallery. I appreciate the opportunity to come out here and talk about, the journey that the city of Mableton's having, myself as the first mayor of the city, being a Black male, and everything that kind of goes into ensuring that we're bringing Black excellence into the things that we're doing. Was excited to get this Black Excellence Award and grateful for the recognition of things we're doing. I look forward to the third anniversary event for this.
People in the building, so I just want to give a quick shout out to Mayor Michael Owens, the Mayor of Mableton. If you could come in the building, everybody give a quick round of applause. Woo! I gotta give him his theme song. Hey, yes sir. Yes, sir. You looking sharp. You gotta come in. You looking sharp. So it is Black History Month. One thing that we would love to do is we like to highlight Black excellence. So not only do we have the mayor in the building, so we doing it big, and network is your network, right? But also, you are the first Black mayor of Mableton, correct? So for Black History Month, this is Black History right here. Give a quick round of applause. Hey. So just in reference to, one, we just like to thank you for showing us that it's possible, for keep breaking those barriers so we know that it's possible. We know what we can do, And at the end of the day, it's inspiring to see as far as for your position and for us to be able to reach out to people like you so that way you can help support us too, And thank you for actually even coming. We're in Marietta, so he's not the mayor of Marietta. There is a mayor of Marietta, but the mayor of Mableton came out and he's showing us love, So at the end of the day, just like you said, it's not the city limits, it's just showing love as your heart, so we really appreciate that. Okay, so I'll let you hold this, and then I got one thing else for you. Hold on.
All right.
In my bank account.
How you guys doing, by the way? Good. Man, there was some knowledge being dropped that last session. I was like, wasn't it? I mean, I felt like, yeah. Look, I got my MBA from Georgia Tech. I think y'all just got a mini MBA in about 35 minutes, let me tell you. Like what he just dropped, I was taking notes. I'm like, wait a minute, What we got here?
There you go, right here. So we'd like to get you your award. So this is the Black Excellence Award from the Roof Gallery. Again, for all of your accomplishments. And I know you've done a lot in general, but again, just as far as showing the support, usually people say Black people don't support each other, stuff like that. So we changed that narrative, especially for 2024. So we started here, and we just want to say again, congratulations. Thank you very much. And let's teach these guys as far as for diversity and how to be like you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I definitely do appreciate it. First of all, I think I can say this is my first Black History Month event. As someone said earlier, man, we're already in February. We're already here, so that's incredible. So first of all, Don, thank you for inviting me out. Thank you to the organization and for what you guys are doing. I know this is the second annual event. I wasn't mayor last year, so I wasn't invited, but but I'm happy to be here. This month, Black History Month is always an important thing, and for African American culture and history as a whole. And I think for my Latino family in the house, when Hispanic Heritage Month comes, I'll be there for that as well. We have to represent. So I'm the mayor of Mableton. I'm also el alcalde de Mableton también. So sí, tú sabes, ¿verdad? Okay. All right. Claro que sí. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll be back later on in the year for that. But honestly, thank you for this award. Look, my journey becoming the first, and I'll clarify, I'm the first African American mayor of Mableton, but I'm also the first mayor, period, of the city of Mableton. Yeah, for a lot of you that don't know, I mean, Mableton is down the road, right, and it's been around forever. But Mableton has not been an incorporated city. Mableton was actually incorporated last November. There was a referendum. So my election was on April 18th. when I was officially elected mayor, along with six city council members in the city. So this is not only historic for me, it's historic for the county. Mableton is now the largest city in Cobb County. Anyone want to guess how many residents live in Mableton at the moment? 332,000. There is almost 80,000. We are just shy of 80,000 people. Marietta is 65, I think. So technically, we are the largest city by landmass and by population. So, yeah. So I'll tell you, as someone who's lived in Mableton since my family first moved there in the late 90s. Sorry. Mableton was an unincorporated place, right? We had a post office. There's a railroad that runs through there. But the challenge becomes when you're not incorporated, when you're not a city, there's development challenges. There's planning and zoning, and a lot of y'all in the industry, you understand from that perspective, right? When you're trying to develop a place, when you're trying to grow it, that local municipality helps set the stage for that. Right? They set the coding, the ordinance, the zonings that allows the city to build. We also have the ability as a local municipality to start to determine what we want to have where. What types of buildings do we want to have? What types of companies do we want to see come into the city? And without having that local municipality, we didn't have that. So as Marietta continued to grow, and Austell, and all the way up to Ackworth, and Woodstock, you see this growth and development. And if you go up and down Mableton, although we are the closest city to the city of Atlanta, we weren't experiencing that same type of growth. So collectively, the citizens of Mableton, plus when you're not a municipality, you leave yourself open for other cities to come in and take certain areas that you have. And so we experienced some of that as well. Some areas that we wanted to keep as Mableton, we were not. So what we did was, and I say we, just meaning the people of the city, looked at what people had traditionally thought of Mableton 30216 zip code, and then expanded out, because many of you may not know, before we became a municipality, 85% of Cobb County is unincorporated. Unincorporated. That means it's the county, right? That kind of decides things. And look, this is no shade on the county, but the county of Cobb is almost 1 million people, right? And if you think about it, there is 6 county commissioners, right? So that doesn't leave a lot of, they hover around the 100,000-foot view, so when it comes time to what your community wants to look like or what happens here, it's completely different, so what our push was to become a city was self-determination, right? There was one other thing that I'll highlight too about us becoming a city that was rather unique. There was 4 other cities or proposed cities in Cobb County in 2022. We were the only ones that passed. And I truly believe that is the case because Mableton wanting to become a city was about inclusion. It was about bringing people together. It was about collaboration. It was about what we could do as a collective body if we all decided we wanted to chart our own destiny and our own future. Many of the other cities that was proposed was about keeping people away, keeping people out, right? And again, that's my own interpretation of it. But we are also the only city that was actually passed a referendum to be created. So as we were talking earlier when we first came in, we have these lines that are drawn in municipalities, but the truth of the matter is, you guys, how many of y'all do work in Mableton or have done work in Mableton? Quite a few people, right? It doesn't start or stop at some invisible line. That, my success as a city is your success as business owners, is your success as workers in your trade, in your field. And look, we got a lot of new rooftops coming up in Mableton, if you hadn't noticed. We've got a lot of new rooftops coming up. There are opportunities. I will tell you that Forbes magazine actually did an article about the landscape of homes across the state. And Mableton had the single largest home value increase in the entire state of Georgia. In the entire state. And I explained to people it's because the secret's out. People know about Mableton now as one, right? And they're like, whoa, wait a minute, it's right there. It literally borders the city. It's right on the Chattahoochee. It's right down the street from the world's busiest airport. I live literally 8 miles from Midtown. So we are close. We're the closest city to Atlanta. And I think the second thing was builders, developers, investors feel more confident when there's actually a city that's there, when there's a mayor and a local government that can help ensure that the best thing is being done, right? And there's stability that comes along with that. So, you know, us becoming a city, us growing and kind of collaborating, being inclusive is going to be nothing but greatness for our city and for organizations like yours for the work that you do. I can tell you I'm going to take a very aggressive approach when growing our city in the right way, in the smart way, because one thing is about being a city, we now have that ability to be able to do that. We just sent out a comprehensive plan to several different groups yesterday as a matter of fact. So if y'all don't know what a comprehensive plan is, we're calling it Mableton 2045, right? This is literally looking out for the next 20 years about what the city of Mableton is going to look like for the entire city. So that has an overlay, right, of your residential areas, your mixed-use areas, your industrial areas, your commercial areas, so we all can start to get an idea and a picture of what that's going to look like. And that is, I mean, that's just going to be incredible. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to give all of you ideas about what's coming, what's happening as you start to plan and looking at your growth and things that you're going to be doing. You know, looking at companies like this for options to have office space in Mableton to be able to.
That's right.
We're going, you know, we're going to advocate. The city is going to be very business friendly, right? And we're also going to try to streamline all of our permitting, our processing, to make it easier to do business in the city. I know time is money, right? Yeah. Time is money. So getting in and be able to get out without a ton of red tape, I know is optimal to the work that a lot of you guys do. So we want to be supportive of that. So I think just to give a little bit, just really quick, I'm actually running a little bit short on time here, but me getting in this position that I am today, and specifically talking about through Black History Month, was nothing short of just perseverance, right? Just being willing. I have this saying, do good work, surround yourself with good people, and be prepared to take advantage of opportunities when they present themselves, right? My neighbor from a couple of years ago, literally my next door neighbor, we went to school, we went to the same school, North Carolina A&T State University, shout out to the Aggies. But he and I used to talk, you know, all the time, and you know, he used to talk about, man, I'm trying to get this new job, and I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to make this happen. And we talk about our challenges, you know, ups and downs, and charting the course, a lot of times being the only people that look like us in the room as we kind of go up and work in the spaces. And I remember one day he told me he got an interview, got this great interview. And he was so super nervous about it. He wasn't even sure why he got the interview. He wasn't sure if he was going to be successful in the interview. I remember telling him, I said, Brad, don't worry about it, right? You already got this. The simple fact that you got the interview when there was hundreds of potential applicants, you got the interview, number one, already makes you successful, this and that, right? But they also see something that you probably don't see in yourself simply by giving you that interview. I can remember days, Brad, walking up and down the sidewalk, literally studying, paper in hand, studying, walking back and forth. Brad actually got that job. And he got the job not because of the studying he was doing. He got the job because of the work that he'd done in the previous decade, right? The traveling that he was doing, the talking with his potential employees, the time he was putting in studying and watching film. Y'all may have heard of my friend Brad. His actually full name is Brad Holmes. He's the executive vice president for and general manager for the Detroit Lions, right? And he got that job when no one expected the Detroit Lions to continue to do anything else, right? Yeah, you raise your hand for that because that's awesome, right? And so it just goes to show that, you know, those challenges that you have, those times and work, and you're like, man, I'm not getting to that next level. Brad started off in the NFL because he made friends with an NFL player literally being an intern, you know, and kind of just struck up a friendship, got a job in the film room basically, and became a scout. His job came because he'd done that work decades before he was ever tapped to be executive vice president and GM. So, so the challenge that we face when we don't see ourselves in certain rooms, keep doing that work. Because that work pays off, because people are watching when you have no idea that they're watching. And when your time comes, you'll get tapped for that interview as well. And if you've done your homework long before, you don't have nothing to worry about. You'll get that job. You will succeed the same way Brad did, the same way I became mayor of Mableton, when a lot of people did not think that it was ever going to be possible. So thank you all. I appreciate it. I do want to leave. Thank you. Thank you. If there are any questions, I can take a couple. I'm right at time, but I definitely want to make sure I get an opportunity. Come on, what you got?
I was just going to ask, the city of Mableton is going to be growing very, very fast over the next few years, I'm assuming. Who do we speak with to be able to get on the preferred vendor list for some of these groups?
That is awesome. That's a great question. So first and foremost, we have a 2-year transition plan for the city. So it's about 17 months we have left on that plan. What I can say to that is we are going to be working on our procurement and our purchasing policies, which haven't came out yet. But I will say stay close. Just pay attention to what's going on. Show up to a council meeting. As we have the comp plan, a comprehensive plan that is developing, we also will have opportunities to have public hearings. Show up at those public hearings. Just come, right? Come hear what's going on. There will be developers there, right? There will be opportunity to see what areas are going to be built out and how. So if it interests you, but yeah, the best thing is to show up and just come around. Sir.
I would say, what was your biggest obstacle in your journey to become the mayor of Mableton?
Perseverance. It wasn't technical, right? It wasn't like not knowing how to campaign or how to go, ask for votes or even how to be able to speak effectively. It's keeping the faith that you have more to offer. I've ran for office before, and I didn't win. And I can't tell you how many people I know that's ran for office and lost, and you've never seen them again. And they're convincing as can be, they want to help, they've had a calling for this, and they lose, and it's destructive. If you've ever ran for office, you wake up that next day after you lost, man, that's a bad feeling. So it's really about perseverance. Are you going to get up? Are you going to get up that next day, right? That next week and get back on that horse and go back out there again and find an opportunity to continue to help your community and your state and your country? I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps. I'm going to be there, thick, thin, or indifferent. Right? I'm going to make it happen. You're welcome. So yeah, it's perseverance, man. It's continuing to show up and timing. Yes.
What was your why for running for mayor?
What was
your why? Like your reason? Why did you want to?
Again, I'm a Marine. And when I took off my uniform, I didn't stop wanting to continue to help. And so finding opportunities to give back, to be able to help in specific ways. Same way I say about development that's happening in Mableton, it is being done whether we're there leading it or not. It's happening. The same thing where my kids live, where my mother lives. This is home, and so I wanted to make sure. And also, I have that attitude that somebody's going to get elected April 19th. Why would it not? I'm effective. I'm capable. I'm talented. You got to toot your own horn sometimes, people. If you don't speak up for yourself, who's going to? So you having that belief and determination that I have the skills, and what I don't know, I can learn. What I don't have in the capacity, I have other people through building relationships of decades to where I have people to lean on. And lastly, being willing to reach out to the community to come. I'm a firm understanding that we're not in Mableton right now. What does that mean? We are the largest city in Cobb. Did I say that already? So I will come where the people are for sure. All right. Anything else?
Other than your family, what's your biggest motivation? What pushes you more? Just helping people?
I've always been driven. It's about achieving. My background is in cybersecurity and national security. So for me, it's about solving problems and challenges. So there's that defense and protection part, but then that solving. Let's solve some problems. Tell me what the problems are. Lay them out. I want to go to work and fixing them. I'll share them with you. You can give me your feedback, but let's keep moving. Let's get things done. And that's, that's what I want to do for the city of Mableton. That's what I want to do for the county. It's what I want to do for the country. That's just, it's something innate. It's inside. I enjoy hanging out and chilling like everyone else, but man, give me something to do. Let me go forward. Yeah.
Oh yeah, me. First, congratulations on being the mayor, sir.
Thank you.
I just got one question. Obviously, to be where you were, you had goals and things like that. How did you handle the achievement of those goals? How did you handle not the early satisfaction or early
Yeah.
What do they call it when you take a cold shower? The early
Struggle.
the shock. Yeah, the shock. How do they call it? But basically, that stimulation, that high you get when you achieve a goal, right?
Yeah.
How did you stay focused and keep that mind frame?
Yeah. It's one of the things that doesn't sound as good, actually. From my birth to, I would say the first 35, 40 years of my life, I went to the movies 5 times. 5. Now, I went to college and I had fun. I had a lot of fun. Be careful, I'm a mayor now, right? But it's sacrifice. I graduated from college. I graduated from high school on a Saturday, and Sunday I was in Paris Island at boot camp. Right. My goal setting attainment is always 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. So as I achieve things, that's great. Let's celebrate. But I already know what the next thing is I want to accomplish. I've already got that mapped out. The downside of that is you never completely allow yourself to celebrate what you've just done because you're already thinking about those next things. The positive thing about it is you've already mapped those things out, so you know where you're going. You have that plan idea. But there is a genuine sacrifice that comes along with it, right? Once you make those goals, you determine that's where you want to go. It's like a cup that's already full. You're going to put something else in it. Something has to come out, right? So that prioritizing, that why, that you have to say, there's only X amount of hours in a week, and you can only accomplish so much no matter what. So you have to be real with yourself and go, what am I going to be involved in? And then, my father's a Marine too, so he has some very choice words. I'll change it up and say, we all know what's said about writing checks you can't cash or I can't cover, right? And you always want to, under promise and over deliver where you can. One of my biggest challenges, because I'm that way, is to spread myself incredibly thin, as my executive assistant Lily will tell you. Someone asks, can you do something? Yeah, let me at it, let me have it. She's like, Mr. Mayor, you have 6 other things that day. So there's that challenge, right? But just continue to just push and understand that, yeah, there will be sacrifices. I have to take time out. I have a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old. I have a 13-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter. Earlier this week, I was running his basketball game, going to her beta club thing, and I'm back and forth. And, that just comes with the territory, I told a story earlier about my friend Brad in the NFL, but truthfully, I've only watched about 3 games this year, And 2 of those were kind of social events, so I was, mingling and working while that was going on. So when you have goal setting that you laser focus in on, it doesn't mean ignore all the great and happy stuff in life, but if that's your target, you really have to lean into it and make it happen. Yeah.
So I should see you at G-Ho, right?
Say that again?
I should see you at G-Ho, right? No,
you won't. You won't see me. You may see me in something curated.
Right.
You ain't gonna see me out in the yard. I spent my time on college campuses, and like I said, I enjoyed it. But giving back is a serious part, though. If I go back on campus, whether it's at a university or whether it's at elementary schools, I always want to make sure that I'm giving back. A lot of times, people have to see themselves in the people that they want to be. And if you can't see that, you're like a ship with no rudder. I got my doctorate, and people ask why I got my doctorate because I don't teach. My response is I teach every single day. right? My kids see it, my cousins see it. I go to schools and they see it. So it's just a matter of trying to be that image, and nobody's perfect, right? But trying to be that image that kids can see and then emulate themselves after. So thank you all for the questions. I appreciate it. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the award. And next meeting in Mableton.
Yes, next meeting in Mableton. Yes. Give one more round of applause for Mayor Owens.